Welcome back to my channel, friends. Today we're going to decorate our kitchen and dining room for fall. I'm going to add a few fall touches to our countertop space and also to the little eating table that we have in our kitchen, as well as the dining room tablescape, all in today's video. We are also going to do some fall baking at the end. I'm going to share a delicious pumpkin bread recipe with you, so stay tuned for that. We're going to start out here at our little coffee bar area. This is the area of our counter that is right below where we keep our mugs, and it's right beside the fridge. So I love to decorate this little area of the counter up with a little coffee bar. I got that blue cubby with drawers last year at an antique store, and I love to use that to hold coffee pods and tea. I also use a reusable K-cup in my Keurig, so I do have some ground coffee out on the counter for that. I'm still loving the gold towel bar that we hung up to hang teacups on, so I'm going to add some fall cups to that, some mini homegrown pumpkins, and that is how our little coffee area looks for fall. Back in January, I started collecting little gold frames to use on the side of our fridge. I saw this idea on Instagram and I had to recreate it because it's just the most creative way to add decor and to add a vintage feel to the side of your fridge. So I started collecting these frames, and in this tiny one here, I had a picture of our kitty laying in the grass, and I decided to switch that out for this photo I took of us last fall standing in the leaves. I thought it would be a really cute change for fall, and I just love the personal touch that it adds to this little area. I wanted to do something different above the stove this year. I've had a bakery sign up here for the past few years, and I was ready to switch that out and just do something a little bit different for fall. This is a wreath that I added dried floral to last year. I added wheat and some other dried floral to it with some hot glue. I also think it would be really pretty if I added a velvet bow to the top of that. So I think I'm going to add a bow to this just to elevate it a little bit more, but I really like how that turned out there. I also added my copper teapot over to the stove, as well as some dried hydrangeas over here in this corner to add a touch of fall over in that area. Now we're going to add a little fall tablescape to our kitchen eating table. I moved this table to the middle of the kitchen to make room for the new hutch that we got to go over in the corner. We're using that hutch as a pantry in the corner of our kitchen. And on the table, I decided that I'm going to use the same place settings that I used last year. It's the same brown transferware dishes, the same napkins and napkin rings that I found at a yard sale years ago on this table. I only have a set of 2 of these dishes and a set of 2 of these napkin rings, so it's just my little tradition now to use those items on this table, and I just love how it looks each year. I'm also going to add an orange taper candle and tie a little ribbon around the bottom of this candle holder with this gingham ribbon that I got from Hobby Lobby. Okay, here's how the table turned out. I love this little space so much. Now, I won't leave this set all the time because we do eat here every day, so it is a lot to have out on this table when we are using it and needing this space in the kitchen to be really functional all throughout the day. But it is still so nice to have it set like this occasionally for those extra special fall nights when we want to have it set. It has been a bit since I've shared the dining room space. If you are new, this is a spare bedroom that we turned into a dining room a couple years ago. We rent this home and it doesn't have a dining space, so I thought that this room would be a great spot to put a table. My next project is going to be to add a finishing wax to this table. Earlier this year, I tried to seal it with 2 different sealers and both of them turned this table a super dark color. So I'm going to keep testing different products until I can find something to seal it with that will not change the tone of wood. I'm thinking from everything I've researched that a wax is going to be successful, so we will see. But on the table, I really love to add lots of layers. So I'm going to start out with this beautiful dresser scarf or little table runner here. It is vintage. I'm also going to add my dried hydrangeas in an ironstone pitcher and then start layering in all of my brown transferware. This year I alternated each place setting, so 2 place settings look like this, and then on the other 2 I switched out the dinner plate. I couldn't decide which set of dishes I wanted to use, so I was like, I will just alternate them and mix and match, and I really love the collected look that that gives. I'm also going to add my favorite orange taper candles that I thrifted and tie some more orange gingham ribbon around the candlestick holders. I feel like this ribbon really brings in like a country charm. I love what it adds to the table. I'm also going to add my amber glasses, my Wedgwood blue salt and pepper shakers, and my copper salt and pepper grinders because I couldn't decide which set I wanted to use, so I just left both of them out on the table. I added some velvet pumpkins, and that is how our table turned out this year for fall. I also haven't shared just yet how my copper molds look in here, so I'm excited to share that with you today. I was waiting for my fall decorating videos before I shared it. I've been collecting these copper molds from Goodwill all throughout the year, and I wanted to hang them in the dining room, so I picked this spot right here beside the window, and I feel like they add so much character to that space. I like to add in those warm colors and textures, mix metals, and really try to bring in warmth with lots of fun vintage pieces. Since we can't change the wall color or anything like that, I think that's a great way to add in a lot of color and character. I also recently added a dresser in here that used to be in my dressing room. I wasn't really using it in that space to store very much, so I thought that it would be more functional to use in the dining room. I needed a spot to put all of my tablecloths, runners, vintage napkins, and other table linens that needed a home. I wanted them to like all be together. I also have extra napkin rings, taper candles, and candlestick holders that I need a place to put when I'm not using them out on the table. So I have loved having this piece in here for storage for all of that. I just added a few little pumpkins to the top of it, and that is the completed dining room area for fall. Could not make a fall kitchen decorating video without sharing a fall recipe, because fall baking is just one of my absolute most favorite things. So we are going to make pumpkin bread today. This is so rich, delicious, and perfect to have in your home and out on your counter for fall, to go with your coffee in the morning or just as a little breakfast or dessert treat. We are going to use our homegrown pumpkin puree for this recipe. Every year we bake our homegrown pumpkins and turn them into pumpkin puree that we freeze and then can use in recipes throughout the year. I do want to try a few new recipes with our pumpkins this year. I might make some pumpkin butter and things like that, but all of the pumpkins that you see throughout our whole house that I decorated with, at the end of the season, we're going to turn all of those into pumpkin puree and use it in our kitchen and cook with it in some way. I truly did not like pumpkin flavored things until I started baking with our homegrown pumpkins. They just have the best, most rich pumpkin flavor. It just tastes so different than anything that you buy from a store. It's truly just one of my favorite flavors now. I love the cinnamon and the nutmeg added with it. Oh my goodness, it's just delicious. So if you've never baked a pumpkin, you can get a pumpkin from a local farmer's market, from a grocery store. Try to bake it in your oven, puree it, and use it in a recipe. Make pumpkin bread, pumpkin cookies, pumpkin muffins. I promise you it's going to be so delicious, and you just have to try it. I also wanted to mention the smaller pie pumpkins are the best for baking, but you can bake any pumpkin, even our green pumpkins. We pureed those last year and it turned out beautifully. It made wonderful puree. You just have to cook it down a little bit longer than you would a pie pumpkin. But if you have pumpkins left over from your decor at the end of the season, I highly recommend to just try to bake one. You can look up the directions online. It is super easy. Bake up your pumpkins, freeze the puree, and use it throughout the year in recipes. It's just so fun and delicious. That is going to be it for this fall decorating video today. I really hope that you all got some fall inspiration from our kitchen and dining room. I'm just so thankful to be able to create a cozy space in this home and share it with you all here each season. Thank you so much for all of your support, and I will see you in my very next video.